Right. We'll just do a quick walkthrough in the on the EMF calculator. It's really a spreadsheet, but never mind. Right. If you type in RSGB space EMF into your Google search engine, you'll find the link, and it's usually the top one, which will take you here, which is the RSGB site where you can download the calculator, which is here. This is calculators. Before we go any further, unless you have got Microsoft Excel on your PC, then you won't be able to do this because it requires Microsoft Excel to work. Anyway, assuming you have, click on that and download it. And then what will happen is you'll open it up. And you'll have this, which is quite a nice little thing as it goes. Right, I don't need to tell you how to fill this part in, but it's all relevant for when you print this off, and it is a license requirement now, so you must do this. Right, so let's consider what I've got here. So let's start. Right, 20 meters SSB. There is a clicker on here which you select the different modes, and there is SSB processed. I don't run processed. I run one of these radios, and it doesn't do it any favors on the audio, so I don't run processed audio on my TS2000. Right, okay, 100 watts, okay. I know what the figures are anyway, but we'll put it in there. Don't need to alter anything here. That is just basically working out that in any 6 minutes, you're likely to be transmitting for 40% of the time. It's their figures. I haven't touched it. Next, we come along to cable. You can put in there, and you've got a drop down. Click on it, and you can select all sorts of cables. But I would keep it simple. It doesn't make a lot of difference to the calculations. So yeah, we'll call it that. Cable loss, cable length. Sorry. Yeah, 20 meters. It's actually an awful lot more than that, but it's 3 sections of 213 actually knotted together. So I have no idea what the loss is. And it calculates that 20 meters of 58 is feeder loss 1 dB. So they're a bit mean there. Right. Oh, by the way, and that one you have to type it in. So you click on it and type it in. The same with the power. These two are drop-down menus. Now you come to the antenna. Half-wave dipole. It is. It's a trap dipole. So we class that as a half-wave dipole. Antenna height. With these calculations, it's irrelevant, but in fact, it's probably 10 meters. Don't have to be accurate. Guesswork is the name of the game. You don't need to go out and measure things. Right. And we look at the figures here, and it says that I am completely compliant because I am less Actually, I'm bang on, but we won't split hairs on that one. Completely compliant, because I don't achieve more than 10 watts EIRP. So that's it. The public can get as close as they like to my antenna, and they will not cause, I would not cause them any problems. Right. If for some reason, say you're running a different radio with a bit more power, and this goes out, so it's a blank box, you then revert to this measurement here. Ofcom compliant distance, 3.4 meters. In other words, that's my aerial. That's the nearest my neighbor can get to my property, the nearest to the aerial. And that is the distance diagonally from 1.8 meters up, i.e. the top of the head, to the front of the antenna. I wish I had a tower with a beam on it. Anyway, and then you take that figure. Well, even if you do take that figure, my next door neighbor cannot get 3.4 meters close, especially when the aerial is 10 meters in the air. Right, so let's do a change. We'll change to 2 meters. Right. We'll change the mode to FM. We'll keep it at 100 watts because I can run 100 watts, not that I ever do. We'll change this to 213. We'll change the cable length. It's gonna be, well, it's gonna be about 20 meters as it goes. Time it's come off the roof, blah, blah, blah. And we got cable loss of 1.7 dB. Right, antenna, select collinear. Okay, height, well, it's going to be about 12 meters up. Right on the top of my roof on a big pole, so it's going to be at least 12 meters. Just click off the page. Right. We haven't got our automatic compliance. So we have to go down here and the Ofcom, I missed a step here. Because we're using a collinear, I'll show you this antenna here. Most of the RF is going to go out in a lobe like that. There is virtually nothing underneath the antenna. And as the person would have to walk down my garden path and get about 6 feet before they're lost under the roof, that's about the closest they can get. It's about 2 and a bit meters from my front door. And if they stand there, they will be right under the aerial, and we alter the directivity to minus 10 dB. If you look up on the spec of a standard collinear, it's anything between minus 10 and minus 20 dB at that sort of angle underneath it. So we'll click off the page. Oh, I'm automatically compliant. Oh, isn't that handy? But let's say I was running a bit more whoosh. Not that you could put that any much more power than that through the standard collinear, but let's say I could. You would then go to this. I'll do it just to see what happens. So let's say I'm running full legal. Click off the page. box goes out. Ofcom compliant distance is 1.9 meters, which would mean some member of the public would have to be halfway up my roof to get close enough to it. So there you go. That's basically how you fill the form in. There are a few more HF antennas in the selection, but they don't suit my my applications. After you've done this, as far as I'm aware, you have to do it for every band you operate on. You just print it off. You can use this over and over again because it's only a spreadsheet. And you print it off, put it in an envelope, stick it in a drawer, and that's the end of it. It'll probably never, ever be asked for. But just in case you call TVI and Mr. Ofcom comes round, he will most certainly ask for that form because it is a license condition. And if you haven't got it, you're banged to rights, I'm afraid. The only thing I will say, as far as I can see, because of a statement I read on the Ofcom website about stations that run a maximum of 10 watts out of their transmitter, i.e. a foundation license, then you don't have to fill the form in because you can never achieve that figure no matter what you do. You can never get more than 10 watts when you're starting off with 10 watts in the first place. So they don't have to fill the form in, but everybody else does. Okie doke.